Welcome back to Garden Smart, where we dig into the practical wisdom of the past and bring it back to life for today's growers. Now let's talk about something most gardeners overlook until it's too late: wood rot. You build a beautiful raised bed, a sturdy trellis, or a compost bin that looks like it'll last for years, and then the rains come. Within a season or two, the wood begins to soften, darken, and decay. Sound familiar? Here's the surprising part. Long before modern chemical treatments existed, farmers were building structures that lasted decades, sometimes even generations, using nothing but natural methods. No toxic preservatives, no expensive sealants, just simple, effective techniques passed down through time. And today you're going to learn one of those forgotten secrets in full detail: how to naturally preserve wood so it resists rot, repels moisture, and stays strong in your garden for years. Before we get into it, take a second to like this video, share it with a fellow gardener, drop a comment if you've struggled with wood rot, and subscribe to Garden Smart so you never miss out on these timeless, practical solutions. The problem with most garden wood isn't just exposure to rain, it's the constant cycle of moisture absorption and release. Wood acts like a sponge. When it absorbs water, it swells, and when it dries, it contracts. Over time, this movement creates cracks, inviting fungi and microbes to move in. That's when rot begins. Modern pressure-treated wood tries to solve this with chemicals, but those substances can leach into your soil, especially in food gardens. Traditional farmers took a different approach. Instead of poisoning the environment, they worked with the natural properties of wood and enhanced its resistance using organic materials. Before any treatment is applied, the type of wood you use plays a huge role in longevity. Historically, farmers selected species that naturally resist decay. Cedar, oak, chestnut, and black locust were favored because they contain natural compounds that deter insects and slow fungal growth. Even if you don't have access to these premium woods, the preservation method you're about to learn can dramatically extend the life of more common lumber. The key is not just what you use, but how you treat it. The heart of this method lies in a simple, powerful mixture made from 3 natural ingredients: linseed oil, beeswax or pine resin, and vinegar or wood ash water. So linseed oil is really the foundation here. It actually penetrates deeply into the wood fibers, pushing out moisture and replacing it with oil that over time hardens. This means you get protection from the inside out, not just a coating on the surface. Beeswax, or even pine resin, adds this protective outer layer. It forms a flexible, water-resistant barrier that keeps rain from soaking in, but still lets the wood breathe. Vinegar or wood ash water? Well, it plays a subtle but really important role. It helps open up the pores of the wood so the oil can soak in more effectively, and it can also discourage things like microbial growth. When combined, these ingredients create what old farmers often referred to as a wood butter, a rich, nourishing treatment that feeds and protects the wood rather than sealing it off artificially. The process itself is simple, but requires attention to detail. Beeswax or resin is gently melted over low heat, then mixed with linseed oil in roughly a 1:4 ratio. Once blended, a small amount of vinegar or ash water is stirred in. The timing of application is just as important as the mixture. Wood should be completely dry and ideally warmed by the sun. Warm wood opens its pores, allowing the mixture to penetrate deeper. Using a cloth or brush, the blend is worked into the wood along the grain. The first coat will soak in quickly. After allowing time for absorption, additional coats are applied, usually 2 or 3 in total. Each layer builds protection from the inside out. Once treated, the wood is left to cure in sunlight for several days. During this time, the oil begins to harden, and the wax sets into a durable, protective surface. One of the most overlooked steps in traditional wood preservation is light surface charring. Some farmers would briefly expose the wood to flame, just enough to darken the outer layer without burning it deeply. So, this technique, which is actually pretty similar to the Japanese method called shosugi-ban, creates a carbonized surface that's naturally resistant to moisture, insects, and decay. The charred layer basically acts as a shield, reducing the wood's vulnerability to environmental damage. After charring, a final coat of the oil and wax blend is applied. This step really locks in the protection and, enhances the durability even further. What makes this approach so effective is that it doesn't fight the nature of wood. It actually works with it. Instead of sealing wood in a rigid, plastic-like coating, it allows it to breathe. That way, moisture can escape rather than becoming trapped inside, which is one of the main causes of rot. At the same time, the oil saturates the fibers, making it difficult for water to re-enter. The wax layer slows down external moisture, while the internal oils stabilize the structure. So the result is wood that resists cracking, warping, and fungal attack, even in challenging outdoor conditions. This method isn't just for historical curiosity, it's actually incredibly practical. You can use it on raised beds, fence posts, tool handles, compost bins, and trellises. Pretty much anywhere wood meets soil or weather, this treatment can extend its life significantly. It's affordable, environmentally safe, and honestly, it's deeply satisfying to apply. There's just something powerful about using the same techniques that farmers relied on generations ago and seeing them work just as effectively today. The next time you're building or repairing something in your garden, skip the chemical aisle. Take a little extra time, prepare this natural blend, and treat your wood the old way. And hey, if you found this guide useful, make sure to subscribe to Garden Smart. Share this with someone who loves gardening as much as you do, and drop a comment letting us know if you've tried this method or plan to. Let's keep these time-tested traditions alive and growing.